All right, welcome to Tile Coach. I'm Isaac Ostrom. I'm a licensed tile contractor in Northern California. Today we're here with the DeWalt 3600, right? That's what it's called, the 3600. This is their, and I think the 3600 stands for 36 inch,
yes,
right? So you can cut a 36 inch tile. The original DeWalt is the 2400, correct? Okay,
yes.
Yeah, so this saw came out, I think, earlier this year. I think earlier this year was the first I had heard of it or seen it. I still haven't seen too many of them. So when Kirk went to get a new tile saw, he went and he picked up 3600. You're going back and forth, right, Kirk, on which one to get. So he ended up getting the 3600 so that he could cut bigger tiles. It has the same motor, I believe, as the 2400, but it just has a lot bigger tray, so you have a lot more room to cut larger tiles because larger tiles are just more popular. We're doing a lot of wood planks that are 36 inches. When you're cutting a 24-inch tile, you need a little bit more room on here sometimes. You know, if you had an elk cut to do here. So I think overall, just a bigger saw. I noticed, is this thing different?
It shoots, the saw has always shot a dot in the back, so they added that.
So this isn't a feature on the 2400.
It is not.
No. So this is kind of cool. One thing I know the guys really like about the DeWalts is the water containment, right? You know, the old Target that I used to use a lot, that was one thing. We'd always have to kind of put up a water shield. When I went and saw Kirk on the job site, he had this set up right in a bedroom. The floor wasn't done, but he was able to operate right in an enclosed area without water spraying everywhere. So I know that's a feature that everybody really likes. They got this side tray. So I'm kind of warming up to the DeWalts. I was pretty against them early on just because of all the plastic parts. And again, I grew up in the trade using a Target or the MK, which were really solid, heavy saws. And to me, seeing all the plastic parts on the DeWalt, I was just like, eh. But now that I've seen them being used and the looks of them, and they've been out for a while now, so it's like the longevity thing is pretty good. I mean,
This
so
is my third saw, my third DeWalt.
This is your third DeWalt?
Yes.
When was your first one?
15 years ago, I believe it was. They've been out for longer than it seems. They've been out for quite a long time, yeah.
So, I'm sorry, when did you...
Well, so I had one for 10 years. So the motor, you can buy any little piece of this saw you want. You get online, you can buy the screw. I bought the inside of the motor. It was 68 bucks back then. I just bought another one from my other 10 that I still have, and it went up in price. But I gave Ronnie my old saw. It was 10 years old when I gave it to him and bought a new one, and that one's got to be at least 4. So I'm thinking 14, maybe 15 years.
And that one's still running? Ronnie, yeah. That one's still running?
Oh yeah.
So
I don't use it all the time, but
No, but he's got a saw when he needs it.
Yeah. So I mean, that's 15 years. That's pretty dang good life out of a saw. So we have you know, there's longevity in it now. We've seen them work for a long time. So, you know, I think it's a good buy. And the cool thing is when we do these reviews, right? When you see us here at Tile Coach doing a review on something, it's because we like it and it really works, and we're going to be honest. And the cool thing is DeWalt doesn't pay us any money. So if we think this saw sucked, we would say this saw sucks, which is, you know, it doesn't, but that's a cool thing about how we do it. We're not sponsored by any manufacturers. We're all self-supported. So, and the way you guys can help, if you would like to support our channel, go online to tilecoach.com, buy yourself a t-shirt, support our channel so that we can stay unbiased in these reviews. So that's my little plug here. But let's get back to the saw. Kirk, you want to fire it up and show some of the features of it? All right.
So it's a 3600, right? So it allows you to take a 36-inch tile and cut it in half. You have an 18-inch throat here. So it allows you to cut. So if this was a 36-inch tile, I could cut it in half. So if we wanted to do our half bond.
So
but now,
so 18. So you got 18 inches from here to here.
Yes, cool. And we do a lot of 1x2, 2-foot tile, and a lot of times the arm didn't have enough room, and you had to take and you had to cut it and turn your tile around, even for a 2-foot tile. Now we were using this last week, and you can set your gauge and cut a big piece or even a little piece. So let's go ahead and we like the plunge feature.
Yeah.
Want to go and fire it up? And
yeah, fire it up. You're hitting right here a little bit.
Right.
There you go. Oh yeah, it's got that's one feature that that's really cool about the DeWalts that the Targets, the MKs, and the older saws didn't have, is this chop action, so that you could go in and plunge right down onto a tile if you had I don't know, you guys probably use it a lot, right?
Even for an outlet, you could do that. Get it started on one side, then turn it over and finish it off.
Yeah. Okay. Fire it up, Kirk. Let's see what it does.
A lot of times we would draw a line on the backside, right, and then plunge from the backside, because that's going to get covered. So this is like cutting for an outlet. But I do like the plunge feature. I'm still old school, so a lot of times I'll take and just do this on the blade. This is the only negative about the long thing too. So if this is my old school, right? So this is the only negative thing about this. But the tray comes off real easy. You can pull the tray right off. So right here, this here, you unlock it and you can pull the tray all the way off, or you can set it to the.
That's a stopper. There you go. That's what we're sitting at on.
Or you can even set it to where it's a shallow. So I could lock it in so the water doesn't drip down too, Isaac. See this little lock right here? I can lock it in there.
Oh, okay.
Free flowing. Yeah.
The good thing about this is underneath is this black plastic piece that when the water drips through the hole, it'll drain through the black into the tray.
It does, yes.
So that saves so much.
A lot. We do get a little bit of water still.
You'll get a little bit, but that's a big.
It does save a lot. Yeah, there's your full extent right there.
So you want to cut rip that 36. So that's a 36-inch tile.
Nice.
Yeah.
You got one seam to the floor.
So normally, so with the 2400, what you'd have to do is you'd have to do something like this, right? And you'd have to get it started.
I'd have the gauge set, and then I would go,
and then
I would slide and
you'd have to push it
and slide and
Yeah.
go, and it works. But
it works, but it's not as accurate. So with this saw, you can do a full rip on a 36-inch tile. Let's see how that one does. So we did 2 cuts. We did plunge cut for an outlet, and you can see how much water. This is all the water that's on the floor. So, I mean, there still is going to be some spray that comes out.
Always.
So yeah, so you'll need some tarps to put down if you're inside
and we
someone's
do,
house.
yeah. Oh, is that from cutting this long
That's
one?
from cutting the saw. Yeah.
So it did throw it out.
Yeah,
huh?
so it does spray a bit.
Oh, and want to do the break, isn't that what you usually do?
Sure.
You break it.
You got a hammer?
And it is.
No. Pretty damn close.
It says within a 32nd of an inch.
Yeah. Good job.
That's not bad for a 30.
No, for a 36-inch rip, that's really good. And you just set it right on the tray so that the tile might not have been perfectly square too.
That's true. That's
you
why
just throw it on
I
there.
put the gauge there to try to help
Yeah.
square it up a bit.
So
And that's true.
So positives for this saw, you know, it can rip a longer tile. You can just basically, it's just going to help you with bigger tiles. That's the advantages to the 3600. Negatives, I would say, just from watching, would be probably just handling the overall size of, you know, I'm not real tall, so it's like I can't reach the controls from way back here. I mean, really would have to lean in. It still does get a little bit of water. It's not completely dry. So yeah, that brings up a good point. I will be doing a review. We have our IQ dustless saw that we will be doing a review on too, because that has no water at all. So stay tuned for that video. We'll be doing that one next. But any other any other thing you guys noticed?
It's
about
lighter than the other saws.
This thing is huge. This gap going deeper.
Yeah.
I mean, that looks like the difference of there was nothing worse than when you would put a 12 by 24 cut and give your measurement all ready to go and start cutting it, and it would hit that like a 1/4 inch into it.
Yeah.
So you got more room, and that's what customers are picking out now, big tiles.
So we got 35. So that's the awesome thing is they say you can take a 36-inch tile and cut it in half. So you've got the room to cut a 36-inch tile in half. Which most of what we use right now, even still, is the 2-foot tile, 1x2.
Yeah.
12 by 24.
Yeah.
But this is still very.
Yeah.
Because the 12 by 24 on the 10-inch, you're still hitting the side when you've got a smaller cut, so you've got to turn your tile around.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like this feature too. This little. I do wonder how long it'll last.
It seems fairly.
I mean, it's these are plastic parts. Yeah. I mean, have you guys had any trouble with the trays cracking or breaking or?
I have to rig mine. All the plastic components have basically just become braille, and fragile, and have broken just where they slide in. And they're expensive. They're like $100 for a water shield, you know, if you wanted to add a new one. Mm-hmm. So that's the only one thing I'm saying. A lot of moving parts. A lot of moving plastic parts on there.
This one cracks the most, doesn't it?
This
one's the one that cracks the most, isn't it? When you're like trying to pull it out, if you don't pull it out straight. That's what I found.
So
really?
I've had 2 10-inch saws, and I've been fortunate. I've had good luck. I haven't had any of my trays crack. I'm not real rough with them either.
Depends
So
on how you use them.
sometimes if you drop them and you step on it, yeah, I'm sure it could break. But I've been fortunate with my 2 10-inch saws.
Yeah.
So I love it. I do. I really do.
That's awesome. So again, that's an unbiased review. We're not paid by DeWalt. We're not sponsored. We're not looking for sponsorships. So please go to tilecoach.com, support us, buy a t-shirt, and we'd really appreciate it. So there you have it. Stay tuned for the next video coming up. And last but not least, I love you. I love being your tile coach, and we'll see you on the next video.